we're over to Lecturer Lin, and not to forget that we are really honored to have lecturer Susannah today from Taiwan to talk about Tao Te Ching. This is the second topic, not to say second topic, it's second session that lecturer Susannah is sharing about Tao Te Ching. And the Tao Te Ching is very long. It has 81 chapters, but no rush. Lecturer Lin, because she has deep insight about this Tao Te Ching, the sutra, okay, and about Tao by Lao Tzu. So we hope to enjoy more and also to listen more from Lecturer Lin about her explanation about this Tao Te Ching. Okay, so let us all before this, let us all rise, and if you are in a temple, then we take 3 bows to the altar, to Buddhas, 1 bow, 2nd bow, and 3rd bow. 1 bow for Bai Sui Sheng Ti, another bow for Pu Xiu Xi Pusa. All right. So without further ado, let us welcome Lecturer Lin. Good evening, Lecturer Lin.
Good evening, Lecturer Hong, and thank you all my brothers and sisters. Thank you for having me. Thanks to the grace of heaven, the virtues of our holy teacher, the mercy of our Lao Tianren and Tianren up in heaven. I'm very honored to be invited to join you. Last time we haven't finished chapter 1 yet, so we are supposed to continue the content of chapter 1. But before we go to the new content, let's take a quick review for what we have shared last time. We have shared this picture. It's a picture of deep clouds. So it's a concept that chapter 1 actually is very difficult to understand because it's mysterious. So we can use Chinese poems, a verse like this, 云深不知处, is somewhere in the deep clouds waiting for us to discover. And then we talk about 道可道非常道. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao, because Tao create the whole universe, create everything and human beings. So Tao is the creator and we are the creations. How can we stand from the standpoint, from the viewpoint of creation to explain how and what and who the creator is? So it's very difficult, especially language and words are created by us, human beings. So how can we use creations to explain the creator? So it is very difficult. So the Tao that can be spoken in words and languages is not a true face of Tao. As the Chinese goes like this, 真经不在纸上. So why do we learn, why do we study the scripture? Because we are study the words of wisdom as the guideline to help us to return, to restore our true nature. And 名和名非常名, we have learned that no name is eternal. So the nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. The origin of the universe is nameless, and the named is the mother of myriad things. When we talk about the universe, we are not going to study cosmology. Let's leave the cosmology to the scientists. We are studying the philosophy. So when we talk about the origin of the universe, let's think about our own small universe. We are human beings. We are a small universe. So the nameless is the origin of the universe. So that means the origin, the true self of our small universe is nameless. And how do people give names to many things? Yeah, we give names to many things based on our concepts, based on our discriminations. So when we say nameless is the origin of the universe, that we can think of an infant. An infant knows nothing, but as an adult, We know everything. Now, how can we return to the status of an infant? We are not going to return to infant because we have learned many things, but we can learn not to discriminate, not to be judgmental. So there's a saying, 一视同仁. Let's treat all equally. Let's treat everybody with the same kindness. Try to do that. And gradually we can feel, we can return back to our nameless origin. And 有名万物之母. Once we start to discriminate, to name something, to describe something, we give something a certain meaning. And we start to 分别取舍. We start to discriminate, and we like something, we hate something, and then we have a lot of attachment, love and hate. So it's the beginning of reincarnation. So how to cultivate? Lao Tzu tells us we need to constantly, without desire, we need to 观照. One observes its essence. When we use the word observe to translate 观照, actually it's not good enough, but we cannot find a better English counterpart, so just use observe. So if we want to cultivate it, first of all, we need to get rid of distracting thoughts, distracting desires. But we have a lot of things to do. How can we, as an adult, we are very busy. How can we constantly, without desires, and just observe our true nature? We have a lot of things to do. So when we need to make decisions, when we need to do things constantly with intentions that start from the center of heart. Usually ordinary people, they make decisions based on their 5 senses, or we say 6 senses. 5 senses is the Western philosophy, and 6 senses is Eastern philosophy. 6 senses is 5 senses plus mind, 6根. Usually people make decisions based on their 6根. Now we have received Tao, we know we need to make decisions from this, the heart, the center of our heart, this, the first treasure. And then this is what we left off last time. We were at the Holy Gate. So today we will start from the Holy Gate. So all the saints and sages, they tell us from 6 senses, we go to hell. So we need to go through this gate so that we can go back to heaven. And in day-to-day life, we let our thoughts and intentions start from here. And after we pass away, then we, our soul can exit from here and go back to heaven. Okay, but now is the question. If we cannot, allow me to say some Chinese. 如果我们不能够常常无欲观妙，我们又怎么能够有欲观窍呢？ That means if we cannot constantly without desires and observe our true essence, how can we, when we need to do something, how can we, with intentions, we start from the center of the heart? Because if we constantly, we are troubled at heart, and then when we need to make decisions, we will be distracted by our 6 senses. It's difficult to start from the center of the heart, the first treasure. So we need to constantly, without desires, get rid of distracting thoughts and observe the essence. But we are very busy. We have a lot of things to do. Everybody is very busy. So Holy Teacher teach us in White Yang era. Your schedule may be very tight. like you may have 10 things to do today, 10 errands to run. But remember, between each errand, you have interval. So we can seize that interval, maybe as short as 1 minute or 3 minutes. That short interval, we 把心收回来, we restore, return to our true nature and let go of all the attachment and 把心收回来 and then make a new start and start again. Then we can make decisions from this, the center of our heart. Well, we just learn to do that, and gradually we cease every interval to practice 无欲观妙, and later gradually maybe we can do it like so-called 26时钟, 24 hours a day. And even when we are very busy and we just do things like spontaneously, but actually our inside of our mind, we are pure. We have no distracting thoughts. Well, that would be a higher level, but we can start from seizing the interval between a very busy schedule and try to 无欲观妙, so that when we need to make decisions, we can start from the Holy Gate. And chapter 1 talk about 两者. So before we explain that 两者, we use this symbol to represent the circle, the empty, round, perfect circle represent the tranquil and beautiful void, which is the essence of our true nature. That is so-called T. And the center, the dot, the center of the heart is where the most appropriate function of our true nature start. So when we 无欲观妙, actually we are 关照 this void, this beautiful void. And when we 有欲观窍, we are actually start from the center of our heart. And if our decision is from the center of our heart, then our 六根, our six senses will follow the command. So, and in that way, when we see, we can see properly. When we listen, we can listen properly. We smell properly. We taste, talk properly. We touch and think rightly. We won't do wrong things. So the next slide. And also said, 此两者同出而异名. So these two originate from the same source but differ in name. These two means one is the circle, the perfect void, the essence of our true nature, the T. And the other is the dot, the yung, the function. It is the heart, the center of our heart. And these two, of course, originate from the same source, Tao, but differ in name. One is Wuji, and the dot is Taiji. Okay, and then Lao Tzu said, 同谓之玄, both are said to be mysterious. They are both mysterious, and mystery of mysteries, the door to all wonders. Here, mysterious doesn't mean something supernatural. Mysterious means very profound, beyond words, because our nature is natural. It's not supernatural. It's in our day-to-day, should be applied, should be practiced, should be manifested in our day-to-day life. But why do we use mysterious? Because it is very profound. It is not superficial. And mystery or mysteries means this very profound truth need us to practice, to go deeper, to go into the depth, to discover its profundity. So we need to practice in order to understand. It is not shallow. And then this verse talking about a door. It's the door to all wonders, this door. So this door, when it is opened, we can go inside and we can go outside too. When we go inside, we are doing the internal cultivation. So the door to all wonders, to go inside for inner cultivation, we can contemplate on our true nature. And when we go outside for doing good deeds to benefit the world. But the point is, the door must be open. We have all of us, our door has been opened by the divine finger of our holy teacher. And this door has been locked for 60,000 years. And the lock has been rusty, but thank God, thanks to the grace of heaven, thanks to the virtues of holy teachers, we all have this door open. Since it is open, we need to cultivate and cultivate it. Go inside to examine, do self-examination, introspection, and we need to manifest, go outside to benefit the world. So it is really very beautiful. And without receiving Tao, without cultivating Tao, actually, it is difficult to understand. So when I try to read many versions of Tao Te Ching, actually very few can go to this depth, except those versions explained by our Tao Qin, our Lao Qianbei. If ordinary versions, just different explanation, but we don't look down upon any concepts, any insights. Everyone's concepts, everyone's insights is from their most sincere heart they want to share. So I read a lot, but I come up with this explanation. Probably you won't find this in any books. Okay, this is chapter 1. And then I'm going to share chapter 2. Chapter 2, the cover slide of chapter 2 is a photo of a feather. And why I use this photo as the cover slide? Well, it automatically showed up when I was preparing the presentation. Actually, it was suggested by Microsoft PowerPoint software. And then I found out this is the photo exactly I want, because for a long time I've been touched by a verse, and that verse is chapter 33 of Zhongyong. Zhongyong, the doctrine of the mean. There is one verse touched me deeply. This verse. 德有如毛，毛有有伦，上天之载，无声无秀，至矣。德有如毛 virtue is as light as a feather. Why 子师夫子 use a feather to describe the virtue? Because a feather is very light. Virtue is as light as a feather. But usually when we think of Tao Te, when we think of Tao and virtue, we might think of some very heavy principles, some very heavy dogma. We never think of something very light. But if we consider Tao Te as heavy, then it is a misunderstanding, because Tao is invisible, and Tao cannot be touched, cannot be felt, but Te can be felt. We can be touched by somebody's virtues. Te can be felt, can be touched. So there's a saying, it goes like this: be good to people, be nice, be good to people, because you will be remembered more for your kindness than any level of success you could possibly attain. Because everybody will pass away. And after passing away, will people remember us? They won't remember our achievement because they don't care. Unless this achievement is beneficial to them, then they will remember. They won't remember how clever or how successful, how much money you have made. They won't remember that unless your money, your success actually do help them. So people won't admire or remember or appreciate other people's achievement, but people do remember how other people treat them and make them feel. So we should be good to people because you will be remembered more for your kindness than any other level of success you could possibly attain. So be good to people means be nice, treat other people nicely, be virtuous. And then how can we be virtuous? If we, inside of our heart, if we feel burdened, if we feel heavy at heart, could we possibly be virtuous? Certainly not. If we are troubled at heart, we may say something in anger. We may say something out of depression, out of prejudice, or we may even blame everyone for everything. Then, and the way we treat others, we may be very impatient. We may be suspicious. So, virtues come from a light heart. So, in Tao cultivation, the only thing we need to do is to clean our heart and mind, no burden, to weigh us down. Like in the pre-class, lecturer Chen share filial piety. Filial piety, love and honor one's parents. Everyone wants to love and honor their parents. And they also know 百善孝为先. This is the most wonderful virtue in life. But why some people just cannot practice it? When they face their parents, they become so impatient. I remember one time I went to a country and there was a Tao member. She wanted me to teach her how to do some PowerPoint slide using the software, the Microsoft PowerPoint. And I said, your daughter is an expert in computer. Why don't you ask your daughter? And she said, she always show very impatient when I ask her something. So I'm actually afraid of my daughter. So I'm not saying something to blame the young girl, but I think it is lack of consideration, lack of empathy. It is out of her temper. Why? Because she must feel trouble inside. If her heart is pure, is clean, then I think she 100% willing to help her mom. But I think she herself is in great trouble inside of her heart. So inside of her heart, a lot of anger, hatred, impatience. So even as dearly as her own mom, she could not extend her. Well, she must be very good at this simple skill of preparing some PowerPoint slide, but she just couldn't do that. She just showed her impatience. So if we can clean our heart, just like clean our house. If we clean our house, then we will feel comfortable living inside of our house. If we clean our heart, then we will feel more comfortable as a human being. We will feel happier, and then we will have patience. And then possibly we will have love and virtues and show that to other people. So it is very important. Virtue comes from a light heart. And feather is just a way to describe being carefree, being light. But here it says, Yet even a feather has its weight. Feather is not good enough because in the functions of supreme heaven, there are no sounds, no smell at all. It is true void, true tranquility. It is 无极. It is 极于无了. So all we need to do is, well, try to let go all the troubles, get rid of all the distracting thoughts, and try to return to the void, to the tranquility. And it is difficult for people who haven't received Tao to do that because they don't know how to 关照. And for us, we are all disciples of Qigong Living Buddha. We need to learn to be a living Buddha. A living Buddha means when this person is still living and he or she is already learned to return to his or her own Buddha nature. And that is a living Buddha. So we try, we learn, we practice, and to clean our heart so that we can be more virtuous. And I wanna share some more about the feather. In Western culture, an angel has wings, and the wings in the wings there are feathers. So there is a saying: if you find a feather on your path in a most unlikely location, you may have been touched by an angel. So when you see an angel with wide open wings, when you see a feather, it seems like you have been touched by some divinity. And all that is just a way to describe the light-hearted, the lightness of the angel's heart. So why angels can fly, and why Xianfo, why the immortals and Buddhas can 腾云驾雾, can mount the clouds and ride the mist, and all those just descriptions to describe they are void at heart. They have true freedom. Their heart is burdenless, is without burden, is as free as the air. So, 上天自在，无声无秀，智矣. Even without smell or sounds, and 智矣, it's perfect. So I'm really touched by this verse, though it is from Zhongyong. Actually, this is exactly the explanation of Tao and De. Indeed, 无声无秀 is Tao, and treating other people nicely is De. So all the scriptures, they are actually explaining just one theme, just only one principle, and that is Tao. Now let's go to chapter 2. I used this flower as the cover slide of chapter 2. And why? It is called 九重葛. In English, we say bougainvillea. It is a very ordinary plant. As compared with roses or with orchids, this bougainvillea is far from being gorgeous. It is very ordinary. But each flower, however small it may be, as long as it blooms in its own way, as long as the flower doesn't compete with others, it is beautiful. So see how beautiful it is? It is in the glow of the setting sun. But in the first place, it must understand, should not compete or compare with other people, with other flowers. If compare or compete with the roses or with, in Chinese we say 牡丹, then this bougainvillea may want to hide herself, you know. So this chapter, Lao Tzu will talk about comparison and competition, and we'll talk about the trouble caused by comparison and competition, and how to return to a state where comparison and competition do not exist. Okay, so we use a very common photo of a very common flower, bougainvillea, as the cover style of this chapter. Okay, the first verse. 天下皆知美之为美，斯恶已。When the world knows beauty as beauty, ugliness arises. So, who is beautiful? What kind of person is beautiful? Beautiful. What kind of the shape is beautiful? The standard of beauty, since ancient time, there is no specific standard, no fixed standard. As a human being, being fat is more beautiful, or being skinny, or being tall is more beautiful, or being petite more beautiful. No specific standard, and the standard can be changed, or the standard can change according to the trend. And in our experiences, in the art gallery, the oil painting, the ancient oil painting, some beautiful lady in the oil painting, actually some of them don't look slender at all. Some of them not slender, not slim at all. But nowadays, we can see that nowadays supermodels must be super skinny and tall. So being skinny has become a trend. Thus, ugliness arises. What situation is ugly? Of course, the opposite of being skinny, which means being overweight. So most people highly praise being slim. Naturally, fat become ugliness. And some people even try to lose weight in order to become more beautiful. Some young girl even go on extreme diet. Some even suffer from refusing to eat. I remember several decades ago, there was a very famous duet, and the duet consists of a brother and a sister. I think you know what I'm talking about, but I just skipped their name. And the sister always thought that herself was overweight. So eventually she went to extreme weight loss, and eventually she suffered from a syndrome called refusing to eat, 厌食症. And eventually she died. And so actually when she died, she already very, very skinny, but she still refused to eat. So she was lost. And actually most people are lost in the trend, in how people see you, and they don't really understand their standard of beauty. They don't really understand their own value. So when the world knows beauty as beauty, ugliness arises because the standard for beauty is set by humans. And so being beautiful is praised by humans. And naturally, people want to be praised, want to be appreciated, want to be recognized. So people try very hard to become a beautiful person in order to be admired, in order to be loved. It seems nothing wrong, right? Seems nothing wrong. But in terms of Tao cultivation, it's not good, because the intention of wanting to be praised, the intention of wanting to earn recognition, the intention itself is a vanity. The intention itself is a vanity, it's not Tao. So when the world knows beauty is beauty, and we try to fit the standard of the world, try to earn recognition, then it's not good. The same, when it knows good as good, evil arises. Here it means the world. When people in the world knows good deeds are beautiful acts, so to earn recognition, to earn praises from the world, some people will do good deeds because they want to be praised. So helping people in order to allow others to know what a good person you are. Is this truly a kind and good person? No, no. If we do that, we may become a hypocrite. We may become a pretender. And if we do that for fame and fortune, it's no good in Tao cultivation. Of course, it's better than doing evil deeds, but it is not good enough. It's not from our true heart. So if we do all the good things, do all the good deeds, or even 办道, propagate Tao, because we want to be recognized as a good person, or we want to be praised as a bodhisattva, then if we just want to earn this recognition, then we have no gongde, we have no merits and virtues. All we can earn maybe your limited fude, limited blessings. Okay. So beauty, this is a picture show us the beauty of nature. You can see in this picture, it is really, really very beautiful. You can see there's no one there. Nobody's there. So we can learn from here. The beauty of nature is displayed naturally, even when nobody is there. So if people do good deeds with a purpose of earning praise and recognition, then it is not natural. It is not out of their true nature, no good in Tao cultivation. That's why Lao Tzu said, evil arises. And then next verse, this chapter talk about a lot about duality, which means this and that as compare, as opposed to each other. And this verse, 有无相生, does being and non-being produce each other? Here in the text, if there is no concept of being or having things, if we don't know the experience of having something, how do we know? How do we have the concept of being in want of something? Here is a very good example. I believe that all of us have seen this picture before. It's very famous in 2019. And obviously, these kids were not rich, obviously, and they were taking a selfie from a fake mobile phone, and that fake mobile phone is actually their sleeper. But they look happy. And why? Because I think probably they have never had the experience of having a mobile phone. So they don't think they need one. They don't think they are in want of one mobile phone, but they do this selfie, they simply for fun. So you can see they don't have a real mobile phone, but they have real happiness. They have real happiness. So in terms of Tao cultivation, so we are talking about duality, right? We are talking about something as opposed to the other. So in terms of Tao cultivation, less is more. If we have less desire, then we have more happiness. If we never have the experience of having something, we don't have the desire, then we don't feel we need something badly. Then we are happy, we are okay, we're good. But if we have the desire and we always feel we lack something, then we are not good. We will always pursuing after something, always not satisfied. And another story. This story is very sad, a sad story. In 2011, there was a teenager who sold one of his kidney so he could buy an iPad 2 and an iPhone 4. And he sold his kidney on the black market. Back then in 2011, he was 11 years old. And he said, I'm young, I'm healthy. Why do I need a second kidney? I need only one kidney is enough. So he sold his right kidney for US dollar to 3,200 US dollar. And then he went to buy an iPad, a newest iPad, a newest iPhone. And shortly after selling his right kidney, he went home with the mobile devices, and his mother was very suspicious and forced him to confess. So people know, oh, he sold his kidney on the black market. But very sad is because it's a deal in on the black market. So the operation room was not well sanitized. So because of poor sanitization, and so within months he developed an infection in his remaining kidney, and because lack of post-operative care. So eventually now he is 26 years old now. His condition is so severe that he needs daily dialysis. He needs daily dialysis to clean his blood because the only kidney left in his body is not functioning at all. So we can see now it's 2020. Nobody wants to use an outdated iPad and iPhone. So probably the iPad and iPhone he bought that year is not functioning anymore. But he traded the very important organ for something not essential. If we can always live without any mobile devices, but we cannot live without a well-functioning kidney. And he traded the very important organ for something not essential and short-lived because he had the desire. So he feel he needed badly. So he traded something essential for something not necessary. So in Mencius taught us, 养心莫善于寡欲. If we want to cultivate, the best way is to lessen our desire, to make our desire less and less, so that it will help us easier to cultivate our heart and mind. So 有无相生, if we don't have that desire, if we don't have that experience of having something, then we won't feel that we are in want of something. Then we will be okay. And 难易相成. I think I will share this verse and then I will stop because time is up. This verse is also very interesting. 难易相成, difficult and easy bring about each other. For example, a task can only be easy if we compare it to some other task which is relatively difficult. If there is no other task to compare, then this task cannot be rated in terms of difficulty. We have an example. Why students are long for summer vacation or winter vacation, long for holidays? Why people who need to work, who need to go to work Monday through Friday, they long for a weekend? Why? It is because when people need to go to school or need to go to work, these are something not easy. As a student, he needs to study hard. He needs to take his exams. People need to go to work, need to take challenges, need to even sometimes feel tired, but still need to get up early and run to office. So it is something not easy. So as compared to weekend, holidays, no more work, no more school, and people can relax and lie in bed or go do anything he want to do. So it is easy. So people will long for this holiday, this weekend, because is comparatively easy. But think about it. When people are retired, a retired person, every day for him is a holiday. And there is no difference between a weekday or a Sunday or a Saturday, no difference at all. So for a retired person, he will no longer long for a weekend. And at that time, will he feel happy every day? No, because there is no difficult job, no difficult day to face. So though every day he can relax, but he doesn't think the day to relax is a happy one. He doesn't think that way. So difficult and easy, or happy and or challenging, it's bring about each other. It's 就是因为有这个才有那个啊。So from this verse, how do we learn to help us to be a better version of ourselves? We can think this way. A retired person, he won't be happy every day, and he's always relaxed, and he even lose tempo of his life if he doesn't know how to manage his time, how to like some retired person, they will take some voluntary job. They will go as volunteers. And like in our Tao society, we never retire. We retire from our job, but our propagation mission, we will fulfill our responsibility until our last breath. As long as we are still breathing, as long as our heart is still beating, there's no retirement for Tao propagation. But usually for ordinary people, they don't have to propagate Tao. And if they're very rich, and after retirement, well, they need to manage their time wisely, or they will lose the tempo of their life. And they relax all the way, and eventually they will lose their potential. They will lose their capability. They will lose their strength as a human being. And it is very sad. So to learn some insights from this verse is if we hope that in the future, every task, every challenge on our way, we face every task, we face every challenge. Those tasks, those challenges are not difficult. Those tasks not too difficult, are not defeating, will not we will be able to cope with the challenges if we feel that those challenges in our future life will not be too difficult for us. Then what can we do now? We need to train ourselves. We need to train ourselves, never be lazy, never stay in our comfort zone. If we stay in our comfort zone, we always want a relaxed life. We always avoid to be diligent. We always avoid run away from busy work. Then gradually we are losing our capability. And then maybe just in other person's eyes, it's just a small challenge. To us, we feel, oh, it's so difficult, we are unable to face. So why 不休息菩萨不休息? Never resting bodhisattva. It is a spirit of 精进不已. Never stop to be diligent. Keep busy. Of course, we're busy on meaningful job, like saving people's life, cultivating Tao, propagating Tao. So in that way, we can sustain our capability to cope with difficult situations. Indeed, no pain, no gain. There's a saying, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. 平静的大海训练不出一个有经验的水手。A stormy sea can. So, never hesitate to accept any challenging work coming your way, especially if the challenging work is very meaningful, like the job in the Tao society. Not only we can establish merits and virtues to pay the debt of our past karma, but also we can benefit the world. Okay, because time is up, so I think I need to stop here, and thank you all for listening. If I have made any mistake, I hope God and Buddha forgive me, and I hope my brothers and sisters, please don't hesitate to give me comments. Thank you all very much. Thank you.